I'm Kira Cleveland, and this is Human Intelligence. With my co-host, Ned Hayes, we talk about the importance of human creativity in the age of AI. Welcome to the future.
Hey, good morning, Kara.
Good morning, Ned. Good to see you again.
Yes. Well, today I want to talk about our friend Jim Amos.
I like it. Let's do it.
So, just a little bit of back history. Back when I first started thinking about Human Intelligence Institute and how we could help elevate human creativity, I started running across people online on LinkedIn and on Substack who were saying similar things. And there was kind of a group mind happening of people really thinking there are bad things happening with generative AI, and there are ways that we could make this better. How can we help each other? And one of the people I ran across was Jim Amos.
Yeah, he's been a really prominent voice in that space for sure, and is definitely well respected at this time. I think he has a very balanced approach to his advisement on slowing down, on thinking critically about how you're using AI, and really making sure that managers especially stay human centered in their management of teams. So I definitely love that he's the one that bubbled up to your attention, and he's been on my radar for a while too.
Yeah. And so almost a year ago, I think, I reached out to Jim, connected with him. I think I had a Zoom call or two with him because he lives out on the East Coast in the DC area. And we
Right.
connected, and I liked him as a person too. So go figure. He wasn't just a talking head on LinkedIn or on Maven or on YouTube. He was also a really nice guy and a really smart guy. I began to reach out to him to write for humanintelligence.news. You know, we run this Substack, and we had a number of people writing for us at the time and added Jim to the mix, and he really elevated the conversation. He lifted it up. And we'll link to a number of his past posts in the show notes for this episode. But you and I also really recently did an interview with Jim.
Yeah, we interviewed him recently, and it was really great to get his opinion on where AI has been and where it's going, and kind of the things to look out for. One thing that he does a good job of too is distinguishing between the technology, AI technology, and the business itself, because, that conversation is very two-sided. And there are elements of AI that can be beneficial tools, but more often than not, it's the businesses driving them that are really creating the inequality, the dangers, and the misuse of that tool in the world. And his perspective on that was really impactful in that conversation. Especially around, technical teams and whether or not to use vibe coding, and, his opinions on that, and how AI can actually slow you down, but also just making sure that the human element is intact with those teams. So, I mean, that interview, unfortunately for everyone else, it's going to be shortened, but it was such a great wealth of information that we poured over, and I could have talked to him for hours, and just
Right.
as an individual. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's such a great background because not only does he have this perspective on AI, but it's informed by 20 years of technical leadership.
Yes.
He's been a leader. He was an English major like I was back in the day, but since then, he's worked on a number of inventions. He's learned a lot of different coding styles and approaches to writing code and shipping deliverables for global companies. I think most recently he was at Motley Fool, right?
Yeah, so most recently he was at Motley Fool, you're correct, and he'd been there for what, 15 years, I believe, was a
Yeah,
career. I mean, that's a career there. You don't see
yeah,
that necessarily that often these days, to have somebody with that much time. But he left that company after being managing director of global technology, right? And Motley Fool's known for empowering investors and informing the general public on ways to, improve their money management and things of that nature, which is phenomenal. And I know they do it with a smidge of humor, which definitely fits his personality. So I like that
right.
balance of impact and, that human element. And so that was his last role, and it was incredibly impactful, and he definitely moved the needle significantly towards Motley Fool's success. So he knows what he's talking
Right.
about.
Right. And for that reason, I am really excited to announce with you today that Jim has agreed to join the Human Intelligence Institute as our Chief Technology Officer. Very
Yes,
excited to bring Jim
indeed.
on board. Yeah.
Absolutely. When he said yes, I got all excited because I think his approach to team management and technology development is so in align with how our team operates. We are human first. We are whole person, right? We bring our whole selves to this job, and we are committed to building solutions for human creators. So we are service focused, and I think he that just fits in alignment with who he is in the world too, and love it.
Right. He really embodies those key qualities. I know right now the number of human creators that we're onboarding is growing.
Exponentially.
Yes, yes, growing every
Yes.
day, right? And so
Yeah.
it's exciting to add a technical leader who can really take our team to the next level and deliver the best tools to help protect human creativity in this age of AI. So that's really exciting. We did mention that interview that we did with Jim, and that actually went live last week. So you can get more details about Jim in that interview. We also have a number of short excerpts from that interview that talk about how Jim feels about defending artists, about
Mhm.
generative AI, about how people matter more than systems. So fantastic to have Jim as part of the leadership team here at Human Intelligence Institute.
Absolutely. And if they want to, get more access to our interview with Jim and other things along those lines, humanintelligence.news is a great resource. So check it out.
Hopefully, we will have Jim on this podcast pretty soon to tell more of his story. But in the meantime, please listen to the long interview with him that we posted last Thursday, which was the 28th. Take care.
You can find out more about any of these news items and hear the complete interview on the extended premium version of our podcast at humanintelligence.news. Today's episode was produced by Ned Hayes and engineered by Muhammad Adnan. Our analog-only human-themed music was created for the Human Intelligence podcast by Josh Pinkston of Nature and Spirit. This episode, and every episode, is brought to you by the Human Intelligence Institute team. That's all for Human Intelligence. Thanks for listening to today's episode. As always, this episode is available online at humanintelligence.news.